What's going on, world? This is Robert Ri'chard. I love y'all. God bless. You are watching me on Kendall Talks. Mwah.
Preview. What's up, guys? It's your host, Kendall Tucker, man, and today's guest is an Emmy award-winning actor. You may recognize him from the hit sitcom One-on-One, or even as Bobby Walker from the hit Nickelodeon show Cousin Skeeter. He's played in several shows and movies, one of those movies being one of my favorites, which is Coach Carter. Joining us today, we have Robert Ri'chard. How's it going, brother?
What's going on, world? How you guys doing? What's up, yo? Love y'all. God bless. Hell yeah, let's do it.
How's quarantine life treating you, man?
I'm just trying to stay above it, man. I talk to all my brothers and all my friends, and right when the quarantine happened, I was like, okay, world's different, have to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Have to adjust your mindset. How back in the day, you used to be able to walk your loved one all the way to the gate at the airport.
Yeah.
It was park your car, walk with them, go get food, give them a hug and a kiss, see them off and wave by. And then 9/11 happened, and that don't happen no more. TSA is there, it's a whole different world, and it never going back. And that was kind of our mindset, and my mindset of you have to adapt in this new world, because it's not gonna return to what we consider normal. It's over now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I see I watch your IG stories, and you're like the younger black version of Gordon Ramsay. You're quite the cook, bro.
That's right, Chef Bobby. Yeehaw!
Chef Bobby, where'd that whole yeehaw thing come from? You just something you came off with?
So it was just I was trying to think okay, how can I still entertain people in my life in a way that I would if I was if everything was not in this lockdown. So I was like, what if I could bring the restaurant experience to the house? So, I just went and signed up for it. I got ordered one of those white, chef collars, and got a red apron. And the first day I was like, okay, I made mushroom stuffed peppers. And then the next time I made sushi. And then I started making swordfish and lamb chops and all this stuff. And I was just cooking, and I just said yeehaw. And I was like, oh, that's my inner cowboy right there. My whole family's from New Orleans. Or Louisiana. So I was born in California, but I still have that cowboy attitude about people and being a good host and feeding everybody, and yeehaw just turns its own little Chef Bobby movement. So I'm loving it right now.
Well, I hear you, man. I'm from Ocala, and I know we were just talking before the recording, but Ocala is actually the horse capital of the world. I don't know if you knew that. So I feel you with the yeehaw thing.
Hell yeah. You ever go horseback riding or no?
My wife is a barrel racer, so she rides horses. We have 2 horses.
I love it, man. No, the first time I got on a horse was in the South in Louisiana, but I love going horseback riding. I've ridden wild horses in other country. I've been to Montana. I've been on a bull before.
Nice.
And the racetracks down here in Los Alamitos in California, we go out there all the time, and I'll just get on a horse or whatever and just take it for a little gallop real quick. But I love that kind of American freedom. That's to me the quintessential American freedom, on a horse, wind blowing through your hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, pretty lady in a little sundress or something. I like that.
Well, when you come back to Florida, bro, hit me up and we'll jump on the horses.
Absolutely. We're boys now, so definitely.
Now, you got started acting at a pretty young age. How old were you when you got into the industry?
I started acting when I was 13. That's right when I got into it. And, I was a troubled teen, getting myself involved in a lot of the wrong activities. And I was walking home from school one day, and it was a rival gang. And I just didn't want to fight that day. So I ended up dipping into this random building. And I was basically just hiding out, you know what I'm saying? Trying to stall or make sure I just avoid an altercation.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be an acting school. And I was just in there asking questions oh, what do you guys do here? Are there girls here? And I ended up signing up. And then it's crazy because even when I started the acting class, I didn't really want to participate. I just wanted to sit in the back of the class and be the cool kid. You know what I'm saying? Not participate, not do nothing. And then there was a teacher, he's asked me if I was scared. I was like, scared of what? So I got up, on stage, and I was like, I'm gonna be the best person in this whole school. Now that you said, like, call me out. And then, I continued just to work and just, like, sharpen my knife, like sharpen my blade of my craft.
Nice, man. And so with you being involved in the streets at a young age, I see on your social media, you're very active as far as speaking to schools and stuff. Is that kind of where that came from?
It's exactly what it is. Kids need something productive to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I understand that the path that I was going down, I'm definitely going to end up like a statistic. Like, inner city kid ends up like hurting somebody, getting hurt, end up in jail, you know what I'm saying, end up in the system. And like, now that I had something constructive to do, whether it be sports or after school programs, like, you need to give kids something to find that they're passionate about and like support them, encourage them, like set their like that like ambition ablaze.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good. Now, you said you got your start when you were 13. How old were you during Cousin Skeeter when you first got that?
So Cousin Skeeter, so what happened was I got started when I was 13 and I did a movie with Shaquille O'Neal. It was called 4 Points.
Nice.
It was like a sports drama, and like my character's name was Inches, and he was like this young kid who had like a crazy like Steph Curry type jump shot, but he was short. And his dad was saying, like, listen, man, like, you gotta like let that confidence in you like burn. He's like, you might not get a lot of shots, but when you get your chance, pull up, be confident, like, shoot that shot. Like, I see it in your eyes, like, it's burning. So like, that movie ended up winning like Shaq and Nickelodeon a bunch of awards for like sports dramas. And then we did another one that was a baseball one. And it was about like a young African-American kid, like in like the 1940s. And like the teacher asked him, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, like, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. And she's like, you'll never be a Major League Baseball player. Like, you might play in the Negro League, but like, that's not for you. Yeah. And so the story was like him meeting this guy named Jackie. And like Jackie was saying, like, always follow your dreams because you never know when someone's going to like pierce through that glass ceiling. And he ended up integrating baseball. So we won awards for that. So Nickelodeon had won like 2 big awards for things I was a lead in. And they were like, okay, we're going to make a show for you. And I was like, whoa. So they like gave me a contract. They flew me out to Orlando. And like first day, like Megan Good like walks up and she like walks into the room and she smiles. And I was like, acting so fucking dope. And I had like the biggest crush on her, and like Bill Bellamy walked in from like MTV. He had flown down from New York to Orlando, and we made the first episode of Cousin Skeeter. And then the show My Cousin Skeeter was born. Bobby Walker. They asked me what my name to be, and my name's Robert, so I was like Bobby. So that's like how that happened.
Oh wow, that's cool, man. And how old were you when your first movie was Shaq? How old were you when you got that?
So I was 13 when I did that. By the time I did Cousin Skeeter, it was like I was like 15, 16, 17. So
man, that's crazy that you got your start when you were 13 and you got your first movie with Shaq at 13.
Yeah, dude, like coming right out of the gate, like I was an athlete. So that first movie, like the first audition was like in a gym. It was like to see who can play basketball. And it ended up being me and my cousin Chrisman, who like were like the 2 best like point guard basketball players.
Yeah. And
so we got invited to like the actual like acting audition. And I was like, there's no way you're getting this role. And then I just like I poured my heart out. It was like a scene with like my dad or whatever they would audition for, and like I knew I got it right when I left the audition room.
That's awesome, man. Now, do you still keep in contact with Megan Good at all?
I just talked to her yesterday. And her and I have a new show together. So right before quarantine, she's like the lead in this new like television show. It's kind of like Sex and the City. Like she plays like a professor at like Columbia University, talking about like societal relationships. Mm-hmm. Kind of like Carrie, like Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City, who was like a journalist, but then like dating. Yeah, like that's the setup for this new show, and I play like her love interest.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, so it's
I
like,
bet you were hyped about getting the call for that one.
yeah, me and Meg are back in the saddle, man. I mean, she's like my first like, television girlfriend. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I haven't had the opportunity to meet her or talk to her, but her and her husband seem like just genuine, really good people.
really, really, really good people, man. And she's been that way like the whole time. Like she was such a sweet young girl, and like, obviously when you're a teenager, like you can butt heads with somebody,
Yeah.
But she was always super talented, super sweet, and I love like her sister, her whole family, everybody. But like now that she's met this man in her life, I can see like her blossoming more, but still feeling like the security of like having like a strong dude who's like, ride or die for her.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now, like I mentioned before, you also played a role in Coach Carter as Samuel L. Jackson's son. What was that experience like working with him?
Really, really, really unexpected, to be honest. Like a lot of the producers for my cousin Skeeter, we would play basketball on the weekends at like one of the producers' houses. He had like a little court in his backyard, and it was super competitive. Like everyone would come through. And so there was this guy that was there named Kenneth, and we were hooping, and I was going at him hard. And like after we were playing hoop, he's like, you remind me a lot of my son. He was like, I'm gonna get this movie made about my life. My name is Coach Kenneth Carter, and like you're gonna play my son. And then he goes, can you give me a ride home that was like 2 hours away? And I was like, come on, man. So I gave Coach Ken like a ride. We went and got like tacos or burritos, and I drove him home for like 2 hours. And he took my number. He was like, I'm gonna call you, and I'm gonna get this movie made about my life. He's like, so then 2 years later, he calls me. He was like, so the movie's getting made. It's about me. They're calling it Coach Carter. He's like, I'm trying to figure out if I want Denzel Washington to play me or Sam Jackson. I think I want Sam Jackson to play me. He's like, so he's like, you got it. He was like, you got the role. And I was like, I don't think it works like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot more like, like hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
So when he told me, he was like, you got it. So then my agent was like, the producers called, and they said that now that Sam's been cast, they don't think that you could justifiably play Sam's son with like your skin complexion. So they were like, so you're not going to be involved in the movie. And so then they auditioned like a bunch of other people, and they just couldn't find their guy. And then Coach Carter was like, yo, bring him in for a chemistry reading with Sam Jackson. So I went to like Sony Studios. It was like the first floor of this building. And I walked in, and Sam Jackson was sitting right there. And I did my scene with Sam. It was exactly, and Sam was like, he got it. He got it. He was like, I'm going to Lakers game. He's like, he's got it. So Sam kind of had my back like from jump. So I've always like had like a lot of like, I'm honored to have somebody who's that great. He's like been in more movies than anybody, like had my back. And he looked out for me the whole film too, because I came from like a sports mentality, like in my mind, I can hear all my coaches being like, be excellent, like go above and beyond, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be powerful. So when I was on set and everyone's like hanging out and like eating food and like having a cigarette break and like drinking coffee, I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, I mean, like, y'all gonna be like running lines and like doing push-ups and like all this shit. And everyone's like, yo, calm down. So one of the people in charge, they end up kind of like barking on me, like, yo, man, like, you don't know who you're dealing with. Like, you can't be like trying to run the show. It's my show. And Sam Jackson was the one was like, listen, this kid right here is excellent. He's like, don't have anybody else say anything to this kid. He's like, because otherwise you won't be coming to work the next day. And,
wow.
I was like, oh shit. So like, but that was like one of the best times, man. We were for 6 months, we were making that movie, and we were together every day, like 7 days a week. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a cool story too. Now, I want to know, everyone that was on that team in that movie, could they really ball, or was some of them horrible basketball players?
So Worm and Coach Carter was in 4 Points, the movie I did with Shaq.
Oh,
he
cool.
was also in Sunset Park. Like, he's like a hooper first. So I would say that he's probably like probably top one or top two of like all the people in the movie, because like he plays in the Drew League. Like, he's always been a hooper. You know what I mean? And then
he played in Drew League?
Yeah, he plays in the Drew League, and he'll put up like 30 points in the Drew League. Like,
Oh, nice.
like to me, like when I see Steph Curry like shooting that from like that deep in the like from 3-point, that's Twan. Like Twan will like step across half court and just like throw it up. And
Wow.
he's always been that way. I play with him in Chicago. I play with him in Indiana. I've been on tours with him and stuff, basketball tours and one tours. He's always been that way. And then the dude who played Junior Battle on Nana, he plays hoop too. He's like a hooper first. He wasn't really like an actor. They just brought him in because he's a big center in the post. And then Ty Crane, like he was also like straight hooper. But a lot of the guys they learn like on set. Like Channing never really played basketball before. Like Rick wasn't like an athlete like that, and they had us in the gym like 16, 18-hour days, like practicing. Like we were like a real like high school / NBA team.
Well, that seems like it would be a fun set. That was always my sport growing up. I always loved basketball, so that seems like it would be a fun movie to shoot.
Yeah, it was cool. So like Coach Graff is at the time was the defensive coordinator for USC. So that's like USC football in California when they were winning all the championships. Like that was our basketball coach for the whole movie.
Wow.
And like Graff was there with like his son and like his like fine ass daughter. She was fine. You know what I mean? But he was like the one that was like organizing like essentially the ballet that became like the movie's like sports part.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we can't hit on every movie and show you've been in, or we'd be here all day. I mean, your resume is huge and it's insane. You've worked with some of the top actors in the industry. Out of all the projects, what was your favorite show and movie that you've been part of?
Man, all of them. I say all of them is because, like, I just really love, like, what I do, like, the craft of acting. But I'll say that, like, the person that I'm probably, like, most impressed by, and he knows that I'll say this, is probably Rick Gonzalez, like, who played Timo and Coach Carter. We've done, like, 3 movies together, and he's just such a phenomenal actor. Like, he's, like, to me, like, has the capabilities of, like, the people who are at the top of our generation. Like, Heath Ledger, like, Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal, Nightcrawler, like, insane great movie. And then, like, there's a movie right now called Waco. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it.
And Taylor Kitsch from Friday Night Lights plays the dude who's the Waco dude. Bro, he kills it in that movie, bro.
He does. Yeah, he does.
So
that was an insane story, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My brother does some interviews, too, and he interviewed one of the survivors from the Waco, a real-life survivor. And it's insane. Like, some of the stuff that didn't even make the show, like, is just insane.
Yeah, dude, to think that was, like, real and, like, on television, like, every single day, like, them just, like, parked outside, like, waiting to figure out what they're going to do. And then, like, resolving like that is insane.
Yeah, intense standoff for sure. Now, what's your favorite kind of role to play? Like, drama? You like scary movies? You like comedy?
Yeah, I mean, I like them all, but I would say probably, like, the military stuff is the stuff that I feel like makes, like, the men in my family feel like I'm not doing, like, a, like a punk-ass movie. Like, I'm doing something where it's like, okay, like, he's, like, like, living kind of, like, because my whole family is, like, military. My dad was an Army, like, he was a Ranger, like, all my uncles were in the Army, even, like, my cousins and stuff. My brother was, too. So it's, like, the fact that I'm, like, not, like, I didn't, like, get into, like, the armed forces, like, when I do a role like that, it's kind of makes my family proud, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, you're also an entrepreneur, CEO of a company called EPM. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, like, I didn't found the company. I just kind of got behind it because I came across it as a customer. Okay. And I was like, so the founder was a boxer, and she was just like, when I go to the drugstore, there's like nothing that's like on the shelf that's like, this is healing with no side effects. But she went to school for like microbiology at DePaul University in Chicago. And so she just like formulated her own like formula for her own self. But she was in a boxing gym with a lot of other people who were like, getting injured and stuff. So that started circulating around the gym, and people were just like using it and being like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, can I give it to my mom? My mom has cancer. And it's like, she's like, yeah, give it to your mom. It's like, there's no side effects, there's no preservatives in it. It's all earth. So you were seeing people who like giving to their family and like epilepsy, like decreasing, like cancer, like the pain being gone, like neck pain, joint pain, like muscle and joint pain, all this stuff. So when I came across it, I had got injured in the same gym, and she gave me like a dime size amount, put it on my legs. Next morning I woke up, I could not believe that I could walk. And I was like, you need help with this. I was like, when I see something that I like, can help other people, I'm gonna get behind it. So I got behind it. It was just like, I want to help build this thing up. And so now it's like all about like better science, better medicine. That's what EPM is, like their slogan is like, we transform suffering for all. And it's crazy because like the office got a call today that like this woman had been struggling with like warts, and she had used the product Reborn, and it got rid of her warts.
Oh, so, nice.
And it's like, I have psoriasis. I had moles on my face. I was using the Allure. It's like the beauty facial one.
Yeah.
All my freaking like moles came off. Like my psoriasis, like all my flare-ups stopped. So I'm like, oh, this is real. And like it says on every single bottle, it says Ezekiel 47:12 from the Old Testament. And if you look it up, it says like, he's saying like by the river Jordan, the trees will grow leaves, and those leaves are for healing. Like this is what God is saying. So like that's like that. The idea, like that's like that was the the DNA, like the foundation of like, and the inspiration behind like using what God gave us from nature to really like heal us.
Well, I can't see any way to lose with the DNA like that. So I mean that's awesome, dude. I'll have to check out that stuff. Now, there's a website we can go to purchase?
Yeah, the website is EPMProductX.com. So it's EPM products, but EPMProductX.
Okay.
.com.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check out that stuff. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Now you've also got a YouTube channel called Highway Fit.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. It's 10-minute workouts you created, or?
Yep. So the way that it happened was, came home one day, girlfriend was gone, and I was like devastated, and like she never came back. So I was just like hurt, and I could feel myself like not being able to like get through the day, like not being able to stand. So like I started like trying to work my core out so I could be like stronger and kind of like start bouncing back. And I went to my doctor and I was asking him like, like what's working out? And he said that like no one had really asked that question before, but like after we did a lot of research together, we figured out that like working out is the tearing of muscle fibers. So like whether you're swimming or running or doing weight training, even doing yoga, like you're trying to tear muscle fibers. That's what makes your heart go into shock and start pumping blood faster, and then induces like your respiratory and gets you like breathing heavier and like getting all the carbon dioxide out of your system. So I was like, what if we could figure out like the most like easy, simple way to like work out, to like tear muscle fibers? So we kind of like got in the lab and we came up with Highway Fit, which is like low intensity, and anybody can do it. Like the first person who ever did Highway Fit with me was this lady named Tiffany Carr. She was 400 pounds and she could do it the first day. So like it was accessible for her.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times like the concept of like the gym can be intimidating for a lot of people. It's like you go in there, there's all these machines, you don't know how to use them. Like a lot of people are fit, but maybe you're not. So you're like, I don't know if I should even be in here. I need to like work out before I like get to working out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, like let's find something that's like no weights, no gym, and like no travel. You can do it like anywhere and make it accessible. So like you start building your confidence in the first day. Cause like I got through the whole workout and it was like, I sweat, I got a good workout in, but it was quick. And then it just kept snowballing. And then people started doing interviews on it. And like now, like there's over 1 million people who've, it's insane. And so we're just like keeping it going, and we're just like seeing how far this thing's going. But it's like a social health initiative of ours. It's to change the way that America and the world sees health, fitness, and nutrition.
That's awesome, man. Now, is it a Is it a membership you have to join, or is it all on YouTube?
No. So like it was designed to be like something that's accessible and free for everybody, like a tool. So you can just go on like YouTube and type in Highway Fit, and like there's all the videos there. And there's different modifications. Like if you're an athlete, there's like the same workout, but like that version's kind of like designed for like the athlete version.
Gotcha.
Versus like if you're like me, like a start stopper, where like you'll start working out, but then like you'll get like in the business and you'll like stop. Or like you'll get into like, other endeavors and you'll stop. So like there's a workout for every mentality. So it's like everything, the beginner to like the advanced.
Really cool, really cool. Now, I know COVID-19 has put a lot on hold, but can we expect to see you in anything new in the near future? I know you mentioned that show with Megan Good. Is there anything else that, is
Yeah, so I'm doing that show, and then I have 4 other movies coming out.
Oh,
I got
wow.
a horror movie coming out called Alone. It's like a zombie movie, which is very,
Sweet.
relevant right now.
Yeah.
And then I got another military movie coming out called My Brother's Keeper. And that one's actually a faith-based movie, so that's great.
Oh, really cool.
And I have another movie where I play a lawyer. It's called Real Talk. And it's about like a radio disc jockey who's just like out like on the phones, like connecting to people at night, but like in a shitty relationship. And I'm like the lawyer, like boyfriend in her life. And then I have another movie coming out called California Love, where I play the head of Hoover Crip. His name is Jay Hunter, and it's his life story. And
oh, wow.
I got cast in that honestly because Nipsey was originally set for the role that I did. So
that's an honor, man.
Yeah, I had to carry the torch for him. So I'm really excited about the next 4 movies I have coming out this year.
Man, all those movies sound like great, man. They all seem like, A-list movies. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'm still, it's a marathon, man, and it's like you got to just keep, doing your best work and then working with the best people you can and keep like, going up and getting higher.
Absolutely. Now, how can people follow you on social media?
Yo, listen, if you're out there in the world and you see me in the streets, come up, give me a hug, high five. I'm saying I'm hugging grandparents, kissing babies. You know what I mean? But like online, I'm at the Robert Ri'chard everywhere. So I'm therobertrichard.com and then at the Robert Ri'chard on every platform: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. The Robert Ri'chard.
Dope. Well, Robert, man, I appreciate you sitting down with me, man. I look forward to seeing more of your work on the big screen, and keep killing it. And we'll have to do this again in the near future after.
Absolutely, man. We'll have to get together in Florida and do a little cook-off, and then go out to one of the lakes or the beach or something like that.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for joining us.
All right, man. God bless you, man.
God bless.